Hi, this is Blaize at Actress Chronicles of New York. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself and how I got into the acting world. I was 8 years old and my mom was auditioning for Brigadoon at a little community theater in Vermont, Fairfax Community Theater Company. And I saw her preparing for the audition and I said, "What are you doing, Mom?" And so she asked me to come along and just watch, and the director asked me to sing and dance, and before I knew it, I was in my first musical ever, and it was a magical experience. I wept for days after the show was over. I really didn't want to let go of that crazy world of being in another character in another world, and it was really unlike anything that I'd ever done. And since then, it was just, where can I get my hands on the next thing? Where can I do the next gig? So I grew up in Vermont, which I think I just mentioned. So I did a lot of little community theater. I did a lot of theater in high school, and then towards the end of high school, I started doing some broadcast communication work with our school TV show. And that's when I sort of realized, oh, it's so cool to be on camera because every little thing is so much more intimate. Do you need to get through? We could take a break. Yeah, and so that's where my interest in on-camera work started. I studied communications at Ithaca College and really enjoyed it, but the whole time I was there, I kept taking acting classes and working in student films, student TV shows. I produced a TV show, but most of my spare time was spent acting, and that's why I came to New York after college. Because I realized I couldn't give it up. I couldn't go into a profession in another career, start that whole career path doing something else, because nothing else was going to cut it for me. So I've been in New York since January, so coming up on a year now. And I had lived here for a summer during college also and studied at Michael Howard Studios, which was amazing. And I've just been pounding the pavement. I've got a SAG New Media show lined up for next spring. It's called The Show. We're pitching to Amazon Prime right now, so hopefully you'll be able to see us. And I've just been taking classes. I've been doing my grind. I'm working with the Barrow Group as an apprentice, so that's been amazing. And yeah, just celebrating those baby steps and taking everything as it comes. It's an adventure. So like a lot of actors in New York, I've dabbled on working with One-on-One, the company that sort of puts you in touch with agents and managers, gets you in front of them, gets you a chance to do a monologue or something for them, and get some feedback. And so one day I was running a few minutes late for my time slot, and I was hustling into the elevator and it was about to close. I said, "Wait, hold it," and there's a woman in there. So I walked in like panting, and it had been raining that night, so I was a little wet and just looking a little frazzled. And she said the same thing. She said, oh, I'm running late too. Blame it on the rain, right? And I said, yeah, that's totally an excuse. And then I said, oh, they're always late too, meaning the agents and managers, because they do tend to be late. And then I said something along the lines of like, #YOLO. I get upstairs to get ready for my time slot and to go talk to the auditor, and he goes, "Oh, you just rode the elevator with her." I was like, "What do you mean her?" And that was the agent that I was going to go see, and I had just said #YOLO. So that was a great little moment where I was like, all right, you never know who you're talking to. And she actually liked it. In the audition, she ended up thinking it was really funny, just talking to me about it during the audition, and she wasn't mad or anything or insulted, or she just totally thought it was funny. And she was really cool. She was really low key. And on the bottom of my resume, we have like random special skills. So I have like ballroom dancing and boxing and different things that I've done. And I also have realistic puppy bark because I think it's kind of funny and random. So she actually ended up making me do that in the audition, do my puppy bark for her, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, you never know who you're going to talk to, and you just have to make sure you're always presenting your best self and always keeping it low-key and ready to laugh, too. Let's see, what else should I tell you about? So one thing I've done, about the middle of this past summer, I joined a theater company called The Complete Theater Company. It's a theater company where everyone comes and we work several times a week and we put up scenes, and we get feedback from the director of the company on the scenes, And then they do several shows a year, and they cast everything internally. It's really fun. It's a great, supportive, kind of little actor family, if you will. And it's a great environment to work in. And this fall, we did a comedy show called Call My Dog, which was super fun. The director named it after her own little problem that she can't call her dog because she has, how many dogs? She has like 2 cats and like 2 or 3 dogs way out in Brooklyn. So when she's working in Manhattan, she can't go home all the time to walk them. And so she always said to herself, like, man, it would be so nice if I could just call my dog and say, like, hey, how's it going? I'll be home this afternoon to walk you. Like, don't pee on the floor. But yeah, it was a super fun show. We did a lot of improv scenes, improv games. We did some comedic scenes. We did monologues. It was a really fun experience. And this is a little side note. My dad and my brother, my little brother, drove down from Vermont to see it. I was kind of laughing at them. I was like, you know, it's not that huge of a deal, but it was nice to have them come down and see it. And my little brother is in high school, so he's really hip with all the little kid lingo, and he's always trying to like stay up on the next cool like swag thing to say. So he goes through these phases, and the one phase he was going through that weekend, he was saying finna, which is slang for, I don't even know what it's slang for. I think it's like feeling like I'm gonna or something like that. I don't even know, but it's like finna, it's like you're trying to do something, like finna get loose, finna go eat. Like you're trying to go do something. I don't even know. I wish I could explain that better. I probably sound really ridiculous. But anyways, we had this joke the whole weekend where we would say that all the time about everything. Like, oh, you finna go get breakfast? Oh, you finna go to Central Park? Oh, you finna go check out some tourist locations? And so he told me, he was like, you should work that into one of your improvs. So one of the improv games, the audience called out different things for us to do, and it was me and this guy, and we're supposed to be working in retail selling like knitting machines or something like that. And I was like, how am I gonna work this in? So I was just like, you finna go get some yarn? It was really funny, and it was like totally unrelated because that's kind of like a, I don't know, like a street lingo, and it was ridiculous, but people really liked it. It was fun. So yeah, fun times. What else do you want me to talk about? Okay, so you know, every actor is always looking for the next thing that's going to set them apart, that's going to be, excuse me, that little special skill that makes them more marketable for one character or for one film. And so everything in your life becomes something you're going to use in your acting and something you're going to sell yourself as. And in college, I started ballroom dance. I'd always dabbled in different kinds of dance, modern, jazz, tap, ballet, everything as a kid. And I started doing ballroom dance in college, which was super fun. And I realized this could be a really useful thing to use. Kind of got out of it because I was doing a lot in college, really busy, really busy, and working on a lot of TV shows, and didn't have time to do ballroom dance anymore. But since I've been in the city, I now work at 2 different ballroom dance studios. The other thing actors are always trying to do is find survival jobs to pay the rent in between gigs that are paid acting gigs. So I work at 2 different ballroom dance studios, and one of them I'm training to teach. So that's what I'm going to do later tonight is take a ballroom dance lesson. So that I can start teaching salsa classes, hopefully really soon, hopefully in a few weeks. But, you know, it's one of those things where everything you do, you want it to lead to a job. And so, you know, I'm starting to put that on my resume as a special skill. And, you know, every movie I'm watching, I'm saying, okay, did that actor actually know how to dance before they were cast, or did they learn it for the film? You know, would they look at someone a little, you know, look at someone a little more seriously if they have the dance experience, or would they just be willing to train whoever? You know, it's always a question. So I'm kind of hoping that that's, you know, an extra selling point for me, I guess, as an artist. And I also just sincerely love it. I think dance is so therapeutic and such a release and such a fun, just healthy thing for you to do mentally, physically, and socially too. So vocal training is important, not only for singers, but also for actors, because Your body, in this case, your voice, is both an instrument, but it's also an athletic piece of you. So studying voice, either singing or just speech classes, voice classes in that sense, is an athletic feat in the sense that you have to be in shape. You have to work your diaphragm so that you have breath control and breath support, and you can fill up your lungs and have big lung capacity. And then also be stretching. Someone's having a technical issue up there. I don't know if you can hear that. Stretching your vocal cords. You have to be stretching your vocal cords so that you have a range and a healthy sound to your voice and quality to your voice. But it's also in the sense of your body is an instrument, so just like you would study piano and you would have to know the notes and how to find them on the piano, it's the same thing with your voice. You have to study where the notes are in your range, how you have to hold your breath and your body to get those notes out. So it's just like taking music lessons in any other form, if that makes sense.